I regret it. It ruined my life. It is the one thing that ruined my life.
Good evening, everyone. A Moorhead woman is speaking out tonight, urging teens in the valley to think twice before posting a school threat on social media, warning the consequences can negatively impact your life forever, as she's still dealing with her fallout 18 years later.
Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley sat down with a woman today who says she hopes sharing her story helps others better communicate their struggles.
She was the new girl at school in 2003, an 8th grader at Wyndmere Public Schools.
I felt bullied. I felt like an outcast.
And she could only take so much, one day snapping and threatening to stab someone, which got her expelled and charged with felony terrorizing as a 13-year-old. The same charges all 3 students from last week's threats in West Fargo are also facing.
Yeah, it ruined my life. It really did.
And while she was charged as a juvenile, she emphasizes to families watching tonight, it's not a slap on the wrist.
I had dreams and hopes and dreams to be a police officer, and that would never, ever have panned out. Right after I made that threat, my life was over.
The military is also able to look in those juvenile court records. I think a lot of kids don't realize that until they try to join the military, and then they realize that, you know, their juvenile offenses do matter.
Blankenship says she spent time in juvenile detention and various facilities the rest of her teen years, and says she was never treated the same by anyone, all because she says she didn't know how to ask for help.
There's other ways to ask for the attention that you need. You could go to the counselor at your school. You could say, like, I'm feeling this way, but don't make it into a threat, especially on social media.
Both she and officials urge parents and teachers to take a closer look for any warning signs going forward, and emphasizes to kids, you're not weak or a bad person for asking for mental health help. In Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
At least 2 of last week's 4 school violence threats in West Fargo were almost immediately deemed not credible, a process West Fargo police say takes time between their school resource officers and investigative units.
There are some of these threats that have circulated for probably 3 to 4 years, and they finally just start popping up at different places that have the same initials as these threats.
Assistant Chief Nielsen says that all threats are always investigated thoroughly and stresses for parents to trust your local officers and school officials when they say a threat is not credible and that your child will be safe at school.
A whistleblower tells us criminals are taking advantage of a flaw in the system designed to help landlords and tenants, making some an easy target.
Well, the crooks are using what's called a J key, where each garage has a numbered key designed to open the garage if the power goes out or if the remote is lost. Burglars are collecting these keys. They're using them to break in and steal whatever they can find.
Don't keep anything that's of value in your garage, and make sure you keep your car locked in your garage.
Police say they've seen an increase in burglaries in the metro because people aren't locking their car doors or they're leaving their garages open. You could read more about this on our website, valleynewslive.com.
After a beautiful day, our chief meteorologist Hutch Johnson is here to tell us what we can expect for the rest of the week. And Hutch, sounds like there's going to be some change.
Indeed, we have big changes coming, and good evening, everyone. As we glide through the 6 o'clock hour, we have a couple of areas of concern tonight. Nothing too heavy, but a few snow showers along the international border and a few spits showing up on the radar, although not all of that's reaching the ground on the I-94 corridor. Here's the big storm system we're looking at right here. It's impacting most of the state of California tonight, and that's the one that's going to bring us our first alert weather day for Wednesday into Thursday. We gave you that first alert last week, and there are some changes to the track of this storm primarily, and the timing's still on as we see it make its way out of California over the Rockies and arrive Wednesday night. Showers, thunderstorms, some could be strong, then converting to snow. There may be some areas of slippery concoctions of wintry mixture across our area, and then the snowstorm will be mainly an overnight event. But we'll have much more an hour-by-hour detail on this storm here in a minute. Tonight, things pretty quiet, but first, the Storm Prediction Center has already issued a marginal risk for severe weather for Wednesday night as the storm makes its way into southern Minnesota. We could even see low-top supercells with the potential for some spinning in those storms. Temperatures tonight steady in Fargo with clouds and wind increasing overnight, and because of that the temperatures will be rising overnight in Grand Forks. So we'll break down the latest that we know on the storm system for Wednesday into Thursday and have your forecast updated here in just a minute.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
Yep.
The North Dakota Attorney General's office has issued a warning about recent gift card scams that have resulted in the loss of tens of thousands of dollars. Attorney General Wayne Stenghjem says that at the holiday season especially, it's good to remember that gift cards should be used as gifts, not to settle an account payment or a phony sweepstakes. In the last couple of weeks, he reports that they've received 9 individual reports from victims of gift card scams with losses totaling $45,000.
A Sabin man is facing 30 years in prison after investigators say he sexually abused a young girl for nearly 5 years. 59-year-old Joseph Johnson is charged with 3 felony counts of first-degree criminal sexual conduct and 2 counts of third-degree criminal sexual conduct with the victim between 16 and 17 years old. The victim told officers the abuse occurred multiple times a week and it continued until she moved away in 2017. Documents say initially Johnson denied any inappropriate contact, but Johnson's wife told officers he had confessed to her. Johnson's bail has been set at $10,000 cash with conditions.
A person affiliated with Minnesota State University Mankato has the state's second confirmed coronavirus case involving the Omicron variant. The university sent a letter to faculty, staff, and students telling them that the Omicron variant was confirmed in a vaccinated person at the university. The school will make COVID-19 testing available on campus tomorrow.
One of the biggest adjustments for many employees during the pandemic was transitioning to remote work. But now that some people can work from wherever they want, it has quite literally opened up a world of possibility. And North Dakota is high on the list of preferred destinations. Anna Johnson has this story.
Remote workers who once needed to live close to their offices in expensive, highly populated cities are now reconsidering their living options. States like North Dakota are becoming attractive options for remote professionals. North Dakota Commissioner of Commerce James Lamont says North Dakota is primed for people who want to love where they live and work.
We have the highest internet speed in the nation. You can grow in any community across the state and still not get behind your peers if you have a job from the Bay Area or from the northeastern United States. You can do it right here.
Lamont says that in addition to infrastructure, North Dakota communities are investing in themselves.
Communities across the state are revitalizing their downtowns, so you're seeing new amenities, updated attractions, more walkable neighborhoods, etc. So all of those things combined make our state very special.
One of the biggest considerations families are making when planning a move is cost of living and quality of education. In those areas, Lamont says, North Dakota is prepared to meet the needs of the whole family.
Communities across the state offer low costs of living. That's not just the mortgage, but it's also the internet cost, the power cost, water, etc. We offer some of the lowest costs there as well. For your kids, they'll have access to quality education, science, technology, engineering, math, and arts.
These initiatives, set in motion by state leaders over the last few years, have positioned North Dakota as a destination for households moving out of urban areas seeking a more balanced quality of life. And it's working. From 2010 to 2019, North Dakota's population grew more than 13%. Recently, the state legislature allocated American Rescue Plan Act funds to shore up infrastructure and economic development needs. Communities across the state are poised and ready to welcome relocating workers. Anna Johnson, Valley News Live.
According to Ziply Fiber, North Dakota is ranked #1 for states that remote professionals would consider moving to.
Volunteers from the local Red Cross have already been deployed to Kentucky. More than 15 volunteers from this state, Minnesota, and South Dakota were sent to help in the wake of the destruction left behind by this weekend's deadly tornadoes. The volunteers are being tasked with setting up shelters for families who have lost their homes. So far, 8 shelters have opened, helping nearly 300 people. And speaking of help, you can help donating directly to the Salvation Army's disaster relief efforts in Kentucky, Arkansas, Tennessee, Illinois, and Missouri by texting HL Tornado to 51555. You can also donate online by going to valleynewslive.com by clicking on this story.